It's unfortunately not as popular as another Disney movie that shall go unnamed.
Yeah.
That song. But, anyway.
Yeah. Go back to episode 1.
A Phantom Menace. No.
This is not Star Wars!
How do you know? We don't know what is happening in Frozen 2. For all we know, there's a bunch of clone Annas on us. They would be clone Annas.
It happened again!
Anyway. How do you know Frozen 2 is not really Attack of the Clones?
Oh, please.
Revenge of the Olafs.
No, please, no!
A new Sven.
Oh, no! It's okay. Olaf was kind of annoying.
Han strikes back.
Oh, that'd be hysterical. It's like, oh yeah.
Return of Elsa.
The return of Elsa. Oh. Anyways.
Yes. I think we had too much fun with that.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
What's his name? The Sven's human handler.
Kristoff.
Kristoff awakens.
Kristoff awakens.
Let's see, what's the next one?
The Last Jedi?
The Last Snowman.
The Last Snowman. Oh, too many Star Wars.
The Rise of somebody. I've used everybody at this point.
The Rise of Anna?
I already had Attack of the Annas.
Anna, Anna, whichever.
The Attack of the Annas, because obviously it's clone Annas.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no, wait. What are the rock people named? The Trolls?
Trolls.
Rise of the Trolls.
The Rise of the Trolls. Welcome, everybody, to the Cellcast.
Another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me this morning is a man who believes in the wonderful phrase Hakuna Matata, Jacob.
Well, thank you. And I'd like to introduce our co-host, who is just a squash banana. Welcome, Drew.
Okay. Didn't think to look up what this means. Okay. How are you doing this morning, Jacob?
I'm doing very well. Very well. Good day of work, drawing, doodling, working on projects. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very good. I had a good day at work. Since we don't really do news that much anymore, I did want to bring up one little thing before we move on. They are making a Cuphead television series on Netflix.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Do you know what Cuphead is?
Yeah, it's a game.
Yes, but what's interesting about said game?
Well, it's the art style is based back in like 1920s and 30s.
Yeah, 1930s. Cartoons.
Yes.
It's cel-shaded. In fact, the animation in the game is all drawn by hand.
Yeah, I know that.
Except it's colored digitally.
Yeah.
This show is not going to be drawn on paper, but they are still going to do it by hand. And I guess that means it's just going to be some kind of weird mix between the two.
Interesting.
But it has me excited to see where this is going to go. I have a feeling it's going to be like watching old cartoons, like Mickey Mouse cartoons or Looney Tunes or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the feeling I got from the announcement, but we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Huh.
So, what have you been watching?
Oh, what have I been watching?
Since we appear to be rushing today, but we'll see.
No. Well, I've watched quite a bit.
Okay.
Well, in theaters, I know this is not animated related, but I got the chance to go see... Yeah, like it matters. Spider-Man Far From Home.
What'd you think?
Oh, Glush.
Glush?
No,
what is Glush?
Wrong word. Cut!
Glush is a word now.
Yeah, Glush.
Figure out what it meant.
Like to glush over something, just to, just like, nah! Glush over something, just to... Anyways! I don't know why I said that word. It's like, what?
We all say weird things.
Yes, we do. It's like, okay, where did that context come from?
Okay.
Anyways, Spider-Man Far From Home. Incredible movie. Oh my gosh, this was incredible. It was such a fun, delightful, amazing, spectacular, yes, I'm using Spider-Man words, but phenomenal film. You had so many little things, there were so little facets in this movie that are so incredible that it's probably now up one of those, like, in top 5, Marvel Cinematic Universe films.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good, and how Marvel has progressed when it comes to making films now.
Yeah.
That is just so amazing, incredible. And yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it and stay for the credits.
Indeed, especially the mid-credits scene.
Yes.
That's as far as I want to go there.
Yeah. Yes. There was a friend from work there.
In the movie?
No, not in the movie.
Okay.
In the theater. And she's sitting there and
there are worse reasons to go to, Venice.
Yeah, that's true. But she leans over to her husband and like, did that sound like Jacob? Jacob laughing, because I have a very loud laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, and they're like, okay, it could be. And then just like, you hear me say, yes! It's like, yep, that's definitely Jacob. So I get a text and it's like, Jacob, are you in the movie? It's like, yes. And so
what were you doing, checking your phone in the movie?
When everything was said and done.
Oh, okay.
That makes more sense. Yeah, I heard it buzz and I was like, I'm watching a movie. I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, yeah, I don't care. Be like, I hear it buzz. I see someone go walk off with their phone and be like, what the heck are you doing?
Why are you leaving when the credits start? There's 2 more scenes.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like when we watched Infinity War in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I saw people get up because I was already just emotional, blown out. I was like, what the heck are you doing? Sit down, there's more! And it was like, huh? Whatever. It's like, yeah. Anyways, incredible film. I probably want to go see it again, but I still gotta watch Toy Story 4.
Yes.
But
do that before it leaves theaters, then go see Spider-Man again.
Yes. And then I got the chance to, Saturday I had the day off. Last Saturday I had the day off. And so I worked on a project, which I got done, which, if you follow my Facebook, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, you get to see that in probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it.
I'm looking at it right now. It's purty.
Okay, it's purty. Okay.
It is actually done very good.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so, while I'm doing that, I'm thinking like, so what can happen in the background? It's like, ooh, I can watch Gargoyles from Disney.
Aren't they making a movie?
They're rumors.
Supposedly Jon Favreau's directing?
It's not Jon Favreau, it's someone else. I just can't remember who it was.
Jon Favreau would do a good job.
Yes, he would.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, just his a movie we're talking about tonight that's directly related to it. But yeah, that would be very interesting if they did a live action Gargoyles movie. And so I have Gargoyles Season 1 on DVD. And it's literally a movie in 5 parts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just literally telling you the story, who these characters are. And it's such an in-depth, rich show, which I enjoy because I've watched that DVD. I think this is the second time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. It's an amazing series. If you have not watched Gargoyles from Disney, go watch it. Find it. Go find it on DVD. Wait until Disney Plus comes out. I guarantee it's going to be there.
Eventually.
Eventually, it'll be there. It should be. If it doesn't, Disney, what is your problem then? Be like, they're already remaking, like, I think, Chippendale is getting one. 101 Dalmatians is getting one, which the animation style is not that good looking.
And then they're making a live action, Lady and the Tramp movie.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
what? The all line casts in theaters didn't make sense to you, so you went with an all dog cast at home. Okay.
Okay.
Next thing you're gonna tell me the Aristocats is gonna be on Disney Plus also.
Oh,
Wait a minute. How house cats
Yeah.
to do all of that you see in that movie. That's the most unoriginal, unauthentic movie in the Disney canon.
Yeah. At least a dog can be trained. It's very hard to train a cat. Correction, a house cat.
But everybody wants to be a cat.
Yeah, that's true. That is a very jazzy number.
That being said, I did see a picture someone had taken of a white cat named Duchess, who had 3 kittens that were the same colors
Yes, I saw that.
as the cat, as the kittens in that movie.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun. And the final thing I watched, which was very surprisingly hysterical. Girls in Panzers.
You saw the tank show.
Yes, I did.
The lowly tank show.
Well, to set this up, because Sunday night,
Oh, this sounds like him.
Yeah,
It really does.
yeah, a mutual friend of ours, Chase.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're just
Chase.
gonna say his name on the show now.
Yeah,
He's been
Chase.
so nice not to.
Yes, Chase, you got a shout out. So
I'm gonna text him right now. I'm kidding.
So we go to his house, and he's like,
I was still trying to get home.
yeah, you miss it. It was hysterical. It was
I know you
funny.
spilt something on his floor.
Yes, I'll get to that. So he plugs in.
It was Mountain Dew. It couldn't stain. Anyway.
But, so we watch Girls and Panzers, and it is the most bizarre show on the planet. It is so good. It's such a good, funny little, not a rom-com, but funny.
Yeah.
So funny. And so, in the middle of all this, I had bought food, brought it over to Chase's. So, I get there, and Chase would be like, that's like, oh man, we're going to order food. And so, the other guy, Hezekiah, order food. And so, in the middle of it, be like, we're watching Girls and Panzers, and for some reason, I start shifting things, my drink topples over. So, Chase is like, great, that's the one thing I didn't want you to do. So,
For some reason now the Gargoyles theme is playing as I'm visualizing this Mountain Dew bottle turning slowly over and over as it falls into the ground.
And so we finally get this done. We finally get it cleaned. And it's like you get bleach and water, vacuum it up. And it came out for the most part. And so...
Then he kicked you out.
No.
No, that's not how it worked.
No, that's not how it worked. It was more the kind of providence in a way. So what happens next is like we're in the middle of watching and we get a knock at the door. And just like, what in the world? It's like, it's the cops. It's like, okay, this is weird. So Chase goes over and so he goes and talks with the cops and I can't hear the conversation. And it's like, oh, okay. So he walks in and so what's going on? It's like, yeah, apparently they were doing some kind of swoop because there was some disturbance. And they looked over and it was like, it's like, yeah, does anybody know what a green car, anybody own a green car? Because it's going to get towed. I'm like, what? Wait a minute, I own a green car, what's going on? So apparently, the police show up, see my car is parked 16 inches away from the curve. And the neighbors don't know who the car is. Chase forgets it's my car. And so, if I didn't act as swiftly as I did, my car would have gotten towed. And so that's why my post said what it said.
Okay.
So, yeah. Providence.
Thank goodness for small favors.
Yeah, exactly. Well, luckily enough, I walked out and be like, whoa, hold on, that's my car. It's like, okay, be like, do I need to do anything? It's like, no, you're good. As long as we know whose car is, we're good. And so, yeah, that's how that story went. So what have you been watching, Drew?
What have I been watching? Well, besides Spider-Man, as I went to go see that as well.
We're just all webheads here.
Of course. No, I've been mostly just continuing on all this other stuff I need to catch up on. Watched a little bit of Evangelion again. I'm slowly working my way through it. It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just, it's dense.
Yeah, it's very dense.
The nicest way I know how to put that. It is dense. Still working my way through Wise Man's Grandchild. I hadn't finished that yet. really, like I said, it's just I've not watched anything new. Is my problem.
Okay.
I did go see Men in Black International. Also.
Okay. How was that?
It was okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like great, but it was not bad.
Okay.
You know, like most of the Men in Black movies, it's not great, but it's not bad.
Okay.
So
yeah, I was hearing really bad reviews over it.
I think those are the same people who gave Men in Black 3 bad reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a bit of cheesiness to the Men in Black franchise,
mm-hmm.
and there are people who do not like cheese.
No. Maybe they're...
unless it goes full-on comedy, and Men in Black's never really been a full-on comedy.
Yeah.
There's comedy in it, but it's not a full-on comedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe they're lactose intolerant.
Maybe. There is one thing I did watch.
Okay.
Last Tuesday, after we recorded our episode on Batman Beyond Return of the Joker.
Yes.
Somewhere in that conversation, my brain got attached to a memory of a SpongeBob SquarePants episode.
Okay.
Called the Krusty Krab training video.
Okay.
Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. It just did.
Okay.
So I went and had to look that episode up.
Right.
And I laughed my fool head off.
Okay.
For those who don't know what it is, like my co-host here.
Yeah. Just for clarification, I did not watch SpongeBob growing up because I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob. Well, and plus, we didn't get it.
SpongeBob SquarePants, as you know, works at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
A local hamburger eatery in Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, where they also dropped atomic bomb tests back in the 1950s. But that's beside the point. I just find it interesting that all these living animals are where the nuclear bombs went off.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the episode in and of itself is a parody of the training videos when you go to work at a big chain store like Brookshire's or Dairy Queen. Or it's that kind of cheesy going through here's the things you do. Mm-hmm. You know what they're the stupidest things anyone's ever written, and they are all made in the 80s. And it's that
pretty
kind
much.
And of course, the running gag of this, of any time the Krusty Krab is in it, is that Plankton, this closest thing the show has to a villain, is always trying to steal the secret formula to the Krabby Patty.
Huh.
So in the middle of this instructional video, they of course have to mention the formula for the Krusty Krab. The Krabby Patty is this thing that must be protected at all costs, and oh no! What is these? Why are these metal legs sprouting out of the Krabby Patty? Plankton is trying to steal the Krabby Patty once again. And of course, it's actually Plankton there. It's like, did y'all hire? In universe, did you hire Plankton to try and steal a Krabby Patty? Or was this Providence that he happened to show up and you just kept filming? And in that case, shouldn't you have paid him? But anyway, and of course it goes to this whole thing, and I'm laughing at that part. And the gag is, by the end of the video, you should know everything you need to know about working at the Krusty Krab,
right?
Including how to make a Krabby Patty.
Okay.
So, ending comes up and says, we're now to the part where we're going to make the Krabby Patty. And of course, this big, huge build-up with this guy going, da, 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 doing this whole fake trumpet thing as the big Krabby Patty is coming towards the screen. At this point, you know they're wasting time to get to the end of the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's filler.
Yeah, it's filler, but it's like, it works for what they're doing. And they start going this whole thing. It's like, are you sure you want to know what the Krabby Patty is? Of course, SpongeBob's going, yes, yes. Are you sure? He's like, yes, yes. All right. So the secret formula of the Krabby Patty is, and it goes to the credits.
Of course.
It's like, I hate you and I love you. And that's one of the reasons I love this episode. It is a funny honestly, I ought to make you watch it.
Okay.
I think you would enjoy it.
Okay. Probably have to make it.
Because I'm sure Berkshire Brothers' traiing videos are just as corny.
When I started back in the early 2000s, they were cheesy beyond belief. They gotten a little bit better ever since they hired better marketing people.
Yeah.
They're a lot better, but back then, oh my gosh, they were so cheesy.
Oh, this is just like remaking the cheesiest instructional training video you've ever seen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
go over every stupid... Okay, at one point, you know how in those things they always say, here's an easy thing to remember in order to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always an acronym, and it's always something stupid. I remember when I worked at Walmart, and of course I remember this because it was drilled into my head. It was Bob and Lisa. Bob was bottom of basket, and Lisa was look inside always.
Oh, these. Uh-huh.
I remember that, and I haven't worked at Walmart in 5 years.
Yeah.
Much less been a cashier for 3 years on top of that. So in this one, you should remember this easily. In order to know what the customer wants, you should remember this easily. All you have to remember is poop. Like, poop? It's like, yes, it may look like a word, but it's actually a carefully coded message. It is, people order our patties.
Our patties.
So, of course, throughout the whole thing, it's like, remember Squidward? Poop. And, of course, it's a poop joke. But
Yeah.
It's like...
Really?
Okay.
Poop.
Oh, the favorite part. Patrick, the starfish.
Yeah.
Like a starfish is incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
At one point during the video, he comes in while the narrator over the video is talking. Mm-hmm. And of course, somehow Patrick can hear the narrator.
Okay.
So, SpongeBob, your ceiling is talking to me!
Okay, I will definitely have to make
Yes.
some arrangement to watch this at some point, because there again, I have never
You
watched...
never watched SpongeBob.
I never have.
I will always say the first 3 seasons are
Yeah.
where it was good.
Yeah.
It's after the 3rd season, it feels like they're starting to recycle material.
Yeah.
In fact, you would love the one on Texas.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that, as a child, pissed me off.
Oh, okay.
As an adult, I find it friggin' hilarious. So, there's a character named Sandy Cheeks.
Okay.
She is a squirrel at the bottom of the ocean in this suit. But she's from Texas.
Oh, okay.
So one day she's feeling homesick. SpongeBob tries to help, but he accidentally badmouths the name of Texas in the process. And you know how bad a thing that is.
Yes.
And the whole thing is frigging hilarious by the end of it. How he tries to get her back by getting her a 12-gallon hat and a peas in a can pie.
It's like, you're just making it worse,
like,
dude.
You're trying, but...
You're failing horribly.
Yes.
Anyways.
Also, the one where Sandy goes into hibernation is also funny.
Oh, okay. Squirrel goes... Oh, yeah.
Squirrels do go into hibernation.
Of course.
And they're in there... They don't realize this, and so they're trying to wake her up, and they're finding out her fur, for some reason, is coming off. Mm-hmm. And, of course, because she's from Texas, and she's sleep-talking, you're hearing what she's dreaming. It's like, I'm going to get you, Pinhead Larry, or whatever. And it's like, okay. And then they start acting out this thing. It's like, I'm Dangerous Dan. You're Pinhead. I don't want... Who you calling a Pinhead? I don't know. This is not making any sense what I'm saying. I'm going to force you to watch some SpongeBob. Some good episodes of SpongeBob.
Okay. I'll take you up on that.
Not the garbage episodes. Okay. The good episodes.
Okay, good. Well, there was one thing I kind of want to brought up with this idea, because we both like to watch anime.
Yes.
Okay. Because obviously, we both have jobs, we both have lives. Mm-hmm. How in the world, because you look on YouTube, you've had all these people, that's all they do is binge and watch anime all day. And keep up with all the new episodes and everything, and watching classics, and I understand, oh, I enjoy this, but watching everything?
I don't know how people watch everything.
Yeah.
Me, I have a bit of a discerning taste.
Yeah.
My discerning taste would be weird by most people's standards.
Right.
But it is a discerning taste.
Right.
Generally what I do is, a lot of times I don't even get to an episode until about 4 of them have even come out of the series.
Right.
Not because I'm not following stuff. It's because I tend to wait until some time has passed.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear what other people think about it.
Right.
And if I find one that has an interesting concept to it, or I hear good things about it,
right.
I then go and try it. And I'll admit, a lot of times I'm just going through the Funimation.com, the Funimation Now streaming thing on my PlayStation 4, and I go, oh, that looks like an interesting show, and it's dubbed. I'll give that a shot.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or I'll hear it's like, oh, the series I loved the last season of is getting a new season. I'll go ahead and watch that. And of course, I haven't watched either One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 100, despite the fact loving the first seasons. But that's beside the point.
Right.
And a lot of times it's just, well, that's an interesting concept for a show.
Yeah.
I'll give that a shot. I love this cat. Hey, My Roommate is a Cat is still a great show, despite the fact that I've only watched 4 episodes.
Huh.
And sometimes it's just, I'm streaming, I'm in a group on Facebook that's a Christian anime group.
Yeah.
And so I see memes. Seeing these memes go, what is this anime from? Oh, it's this one. I love this show. It's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Okay, this is stupid. Or, oh, I like this. This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, I got you.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, definitely for me, it's more like, I'll hear, like, someone talk about something, and it's like, oh, okay. Oh, this is, like, 8 years old. I'm going to watch it. Because it's more the interest in the medium than itself. Rather than be like, I've got to absorb everything. Because, throw around the word of, like, otaku. Otaku's...
I am only an otaku in the sense that I will watch anime more faster than I will probably watch a lot of Western television. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Because there's just doing stuff that's more interesting over there
than
a lot of what we get over here.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's just me.
Yeah, it's true in a lot of ways. I definitely would not consider myself an otaku. Yeah. Because my style...
I don't really call myself that either. But.
Yeah, but just being like, use the label itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more... My interest in anime was... I had the Toonami block back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And which I think anybody who, fell in love with anime,
started
there. And, I have my little collection of anime that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that my interest in anime, like yours, started with Toonami.
Yeah.
Mine specifically with a little show you might have heard of, a little obscure, called Dragon Ball Z. I got into Dragon Ball Z, and of course, I thought, oh, this is anime. I'll try this other anime. What's this other one? Sailor Moon. Oh, this is a little girly, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Gee, I'm in 7th grade. I wonder why I like this show. Anyway, and then things like Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah.
Should show up on there. When I got into high school and they started doing their Saturday night Adult Swim.
Yeah, Adult Swim block.
Anime block.
Yeah.
Of course, Cowboy Bebop.
Of course.
I love this show. This is a great show.
Yeah.
And then Yu Yu Hakusho. I got interested in that. And a couple other little small shows I heard about. You can't forget the greatness that is Hamtaro. I'm being facetious here. It is a show about hamsters. That's obviously for little children that they played in Toonami.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the advertisements made it sound like this was this epic show on the likes of Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, and it's hamsters. And I remember watching it going, this is not the show you sold me, and yet I'm still watching. Okay. And then, of course, time went on, and the internet started becoming more an active part of my life.
Right.
I found about these other shows.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is the show? Excel Saga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to watch that. It looks kind of silly. And then, of course, I can't find it when I do start looking for it. And then I get interested in other things like YouTube video clips like, oh, what is this? Azumanga Daya? What is that? Oh, this is kind of fun, even though this is not the kind of show I would normally watch.
Right.
And then I kind of drifted away, and then I saw a video one night of a bunch of one of these it was essentially a medley of a bunch of anime songs with videos. I didn't know what any of this stuff was, but it's like, all of this looks good. I should try some of these. And then that's how I got really back into anime. With The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Lucky Star, and then it's like, oh, there's all these other shows that are coming up. I just got started watching all this stuff, trying to get caught up, regretting that I missed some of these shows and now they're stuck in licensing heck. Remembering that Fooly Cooly was a thing.
Oh gosh, Fooly Cooly.
I didn't get Fooly Cooly when I watched it. Why should
Me
I
either.
care? And I was talking to a guy I worked with up at Walmart. I says, oh yeah, I love Fooly Cooly. It's like, I didn't get it. It's like, you need to watch it again. Okay. So he let me borrow his DVDs. And it's like, okay, I get what this is. I probably will buy it when it comes out. And Funimation did eventually do a re-release of it. Yeah. And I watched it. Okay, I know what's going on. I can't believe that's what this show is about, because I didn't get that the first time I watched it.
Right.
It's like, anyway, and that thing, a thing, and it's only 6 episodes, thankfully. And then around that time, I started getting streaming stuff started becoming easier. Yeah. So now, oh good, I don't have to buy the anime anymore and spend $20 on a show I don't know anything about. Right. I can now watch other stuff that I'm already paying streaming. So I've got into anime good. I started some shows that way. And it slowly grew organically into, I'm just watching anime a lot now. Yeah.
Well, for me, it'd be like, it's more going back into that nostalgia. But it's like, those shows I watched when I was like a teenager. Yeah. It's like, great. And then I'll eventually like, I'll hear about this. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, this wasn't my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm a member with Disney Movie Club, you have access to all these great Disney afternoon shows. Yeah. And I've started buying them, and I'm really enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Now, the original DuckTales series is kind of like, okay, this is weird. Because
I do remember the main thing I liked about the DuckTales show was the theme song. Yes. I don't remember anything about their actual show itself.
Yeah, I
have more memories of DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp, than I do of the show itself.
Yes. Yeah, that was the whole reason I bought that. It was 3 seasons, 3 to 4 seasons, and the movie.
But that was popular enough to spawn my actual favorite show, Darkwing Duck.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, I love Darkwing Duck.
Yes.
And yeah, Darkwing Duck is probably one of my favorites of the Disney, besides Gargoyles. And Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I love Chip and Dale.
What did you think of Tailspin?
I love Tailspin. Okay. I enjoy Tailspin. Because it had interesting characters, it had, character motivations, and just fun. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fun, because I remember it just being a lot of fun, and it had Baloo the Bear. Yeah. And Shere Khan. Mm-hmm.
And the snake, whose name I can't think of. Yeah. He's in it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He's... Yeah, anyways. Wait.
That snake is a girl, isn't it? Technically.
Yes.
Okay. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Okay.
Whoops.
Boop, yeah. Boop, boop. Okay.
Anyways, so that's what I've been watching, and that's what you've been watching. So
let's get into what we both watched this week on our review of The Lion King.
Roar.
What are your thoughts on this movie?
It's perfect. I couldn't help it.
Okay.
Yes, it is perfect. And an amazing, incredible film. Mm-hmm. Now, to kind of give my history on Lion King. Yeah. Okay, I saw this in theater. I saw this in theaters when it first came out. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much when, spoiler alert, Mufasa died.
If you enjoyed it when the main character's father died. How sick a person are you?
No, it was the first time I ever, really got emotional, got some, some little crocodile tears. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I completely forgot it. Forgot that moment. Because what I say normally, the first time I ever cried in a movie was Armageddon. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, oh no, it was Lion King.
Had to have been Lion King.
Yeah, because it was that jarring. It'd be like, the opening and everything, it's just fantastic. And so, obviously, my dad enjoyed the movie so much he bought it himself. Mm-hmm. And so, A couple of years ago, I was pseudo trying to date this girl who I got to know at work. And so we became really close and just hung out. And her dad had recently passed away. And their favorite movie was The Lion King. And so The Lion King was coming out to theaters again in 3D. The weirdest 3D rendering of a movie I've ever seen.
Yes, but the good thing we got out of that is that it was a full remaster of the movie.
Yes.
Which makes it now look friggin' awesome.
Yes, I agree. So the second time I went and watched Lion King in theaters was the 3D version with a girl that I was hoping to, be boyfriend, girlfriend. And knowing that it's like, she told me prior, it's like, okay, if I start bawling when Mufasa dies, I'm just going to hold your hand. It's like, I have no problem with that. And so, yeah, it sure happened. And she went, thunk. I was like, this is awesome. So, yeah, I have a very interesting experience when it comes to Lion King.
Right.
And, I own it on Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy. It's a national treasure.
Worthy of being stolen by Nicolas Cage?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But yeah, it's a fantastic film that there again is a treasure, definitely within Disney, definitely animation history.
Okay.
What about yours?
I first saw this movie, it would have had to have been right after it came out in 93. I know I did not watch it in the theater originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I know I saw it on home video probably sometime within somewhere around between my third and fourth grade year.
Okay.
I know this because I know that in the talent show, my fourth grade year, I sang I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Oh, fun.
I don't think I won.
Oh, okay.
But I even had a little puppet to sing Zazu's part.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
So, yeah, that was then. I know I watched it a little off and on after that point.
Yeah.
But, of course, other movies came out, so it fell off for a bit. Until, of course, the remaster, the 3D version came out, much like you. And I thought, how on earth are you going to make a 3D movie out of a 2D film? Mm-hmm. I'm just curious enough to find out. Mm-hmm. So I went and watched it and thought, okay, I'm not sure that was necessary. And for whatever reason, I kind of did not. Maybe it's just because I was laughing at how poor the 3D was. Yeah. But I didn't react to it as well that time as I know I did when I was a kid. Yeah. So it kind of just fell off until one day, I was in electronics. We needed a movie to put on the store use TVs that we were trying to get sold off. Mm-hmm. And we put in The Lion King. Because why not? It's a good movie. Yeah. And that played for a couple weeks. And I stopped by every time it cycled around while I was at work to be prepared because that is one of the greatest villain songs, period. I would totally
I'm not
saying it's the best. Because I really don't want to claim what's the best because I'm sure people will bite my head off and say, no, it's this other thing. But it's a great song.
Yeah. Now, granted, when we finally get around to doing, our top 10, Disney villain
songs,
villain songs, that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting.
But
I'm sure we'll have a lot of disagreements fed our way.
Yes.
However, or maybe not villain songs. We might just do top 10 favorite Disney songs.
Yeah, that's true.
And then villain separate. Anyway. Yeah. And so that was kind of it until yesterday when since I couldn't find a rental anywhere, I ended up buying the digital version of the Signature Edition on Amazon.
Really?
And I watched it that way. It was only it was on sale.
Really?
It was $5.99 for 1080p.
Wow.
It's the same price as the SD copy. It's well, I signed into that good. So that's how I watched it this time. And maybe it's just because I was watching it with a critical eye this time.
Yeah.
I really got into how well this movie is. Mm-hmm. How well it's done.
Oh, I agree.
Animation is spot on. The story, which...
Spot on.
I didn't mean it that way. The animation is gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when you consider this is one of the early CG 2D movies.
Yeah, it did.
It's not the first one to use the CAPS system that Pixar developed for Disney. Mm-hmm. If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it is one of the early ones, and you can tell by this point they have had some practice.
Yeah.
And it's done very well.
Yeah.
The stampede scene, as we said before,
is
amazing.
Yes, it is.
In how they handled that.
Yeah. You know how long it took them to do that?
Probably friggin' forever.
3 years.
That doesn't surprise me.
It took them 3 years to do that scene.
There's a lot of movement in that scene. There's no way that was done in a... There's no way that was not the hardest scene in the movie to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Every other scene you can see, okay, yeah, this is... I can see how this was done. That seems like... I don't know how you did that. Uh-huh. The way you did... And obviously, there's some CG. Mm-hmm. Some 3D CG, I mean.
Yeah.
But it's very subtle, and it works so well.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a good... It's, 5 minutes long, that scene, if not longer?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes.
And it's non-stop.
Oh, yeah.
Once the wildebeest start coming down the
gorge?
It's like, oh my word.
It's a roller coaster. Yeah. Literally. Bill, it slows down just enough to where Simba goes up this way and Mufasa climbs up. Mm-hmm. And it slows down there. And then you get into that scene. Which, reflecting back and watching it the first time, when you get Simba's reaction to the wildebeest coming down, it's like, oh no, this is not good. Run!
And I just love that that simulated depth of field change where it's zooming in on Simba, but the background is kind of zooming out in a weird way. I don't know how a good way to say it, other than I know it's a depth of field change.
Yeah,
that can happens when you. It was a cinematic filmmaking technique.
Yeah.
For a long time, I think it still is. But the way they simulated that in animation made me go, "Oh my word!"
Yeah.
Y'all spent too much time on this scene.
Oh yeah, there's so many. I think there's like 2 or 3 actually 360 shots.
Yeah.
Or like almost complete 360 shots. But the way they shot this movie. Mm-hmm. Be like, now, granted, it's an animated film.
Yes,
but it's shot like an actual movie.
Yeah,
like an actual live action film.
There's actual live action cinematography in this movie.
Yes,
it's not just this is the easiest way to draw these characters. It's like here's the most dynamic way we could put these characters on screen.
And just to think about this for 3 seconds, that when it came to because they were tasked with you can either take The Lion King, which is about a bunch of lions, or you can take Pocahontas. This big adventure film that's the biggest thing ever.
I remember reading about that. Yes. There were 2 camps. Like, you can either work on Pocahontas, or you can work on The Lion King. Well, the older crowd thought, Pocahontas is more of what we're used to. That's going to be the better Disney movie. That's going to be the better thing. It's the easy take. We're going to go over here and make Pocahontas as good as it can be. And all the newbies made The Lion King. And The Lion King, I'm sorry to say, is the better movie.
It is.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that Anastasia, Anastasia Bora? He's the animator who did Scar.
I don't remember the animators' names. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but anyways, the animator who did Scar. He was more like, it's like, I like lions because he was more of a fan of the older Disneys because he wanted to draw animals. Mm-hmm. So it's like this was the perfect moment for him, and he drew Scar.
Yeah,
and oh my gosh, the character design.
Oh yes,
and they literally watched Jeremy Irons in the booth, like, oh yeah, we'll just put his face on the lion.
Might as well.
Yeah. And the same thing with James Earl Jones as Mufasa.
Yeah. So, since we have slowly moved into the cast, let's go over that right quick.
Yes.
I have first on my list Zazu, was played by Rowan Atkinson.
Ah.
Do you know who Rowan Atkinson is?
I know of the name, but remind me again of who he is.
He is Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah!
And also, if you're into your British humor, he's also black. He also plays the lead character in Blackadder.
Okay, I have no idea what that is.
It's an interesting show. I do actually suggest that one.
Okay.
I'm sure our good buddy Chase can tell you everything in a lot better way than I can about that show.
Okay.
But, that's mostly what I know him from. Also, a very funny Doctor Who skit.
Oh, okay.
Where he played the Doctor.
Okay, that just sounds funny.
Yeah, I'll have to get you that link.
Okay.
Next, playing young Simba, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is?
Yes. Home Improvement.
And the character's name in Home Improvement? Go ahead and answer.
I'm drawing a blank.
Randy Taylor.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Which is the middle son in
Home Improvement.
Playing adult Simba was Matthew Broderick.
Oh, Broderick.
What do you know him from?
Godzilla.
What else?
Godzilla. Let me think for a second. What else do I remember Broderick from? A lot of 80s films.
Pick a couple. I know a couple.
Oh,
I only wrote one down, but I do know of a couple.
Yeah,
Ferris Bueller's
Day Off. Yeah,
he played Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, which I've never seen, so I need to watch.
We will have to correct that.
Remedy that.
He was also played the main guy in War Games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The young hacker in that movie. But the one I found interesting.
Yeah. He
played in the newer version of The Producers.
Yeah.
He played opposite of the guy who played Timon.
Nathan Lane. Yeah.
He played opposite of Nathan Lane in The Producers.
Yeah. Which
is a comedy about making the worst musical possible.
Yeah.
Springtime for Hitler.
I didn't know that.
It's the idea. It's a Mel Brooks film, which is hilarious since he's Jewish.
Yeah.
And the story of that is these two producers have realized they can make more money off of a flop than off of a big play.
Yeah.
A successful musical. So they go about trying to make the worst possible musical they can make.
Yeah.
And it backfires on them.
It becomes a success.
It becomes very successful because they see it. It's called Springtime for Hitler. It is a musical about Hitler during World War II. And it's taken as a farce.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that's not what the play was intended to be.
So, kind of a interesting segue when we were talking about Matthew Broderick and, what's his name? Nathan Lane. Be like, for the fact you would think most animated movies be like they're all recorded in the same booth. Mm-hmm. Well, this one they weren't. Yeah, because they recorded they recorded separately. And so apparently the only time they met was in the hallway. They bumped into each other. It's like, oh, you're playing Simba. Oh, you're playing Timon. And so that's where their friendship started, and that's where they got to work together in Producers.
I'm assuming some other stuff, but that was the one that jumped out at me.
Yes.
So since I already said Nathan Lane,
yes,
he also played Preed in Titan AE.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I love that character.
Yeah. There's a movie you don't hear talked about often,
no,
which we will have to do at some point.
Yes.
Since I have already gotten into that duo, Ernie Sabella played Pumbaa. And that's about all he's played, from what I could tell. I looked through the IMDb 3 times trying to find something that wasn't Pumbaa that I think most people would know. But mostly besides Pumbaa, he played a lot of one-shot things that I couldn't tell were big roles.
Right.
So if I'm wrong there, my apologies. Let me know. I'll correct it next episode if you've let me know by then. If not, you've lost it. Playing adult Nala was Moira Kelly. And the only thing I found that most people would know was she was Mandy Hampton in The West Wing.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find much else for her, unfortunately. Okay. Playing young Nala was Nikita Kalame Harris, who has not done anything since.
Oh, okay.
From what I could tell, she was a child actress. And
okay.
She's done some directing since then?
Yeah. Kind of like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Kinda. Well, except Jonathan Taylor Thomas has made some cameo appearances on Tim Allen's new show.
Yeah, Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing.
Yes.
Playing Tim's daughter's boss.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Next, playing Ed the hyena was Jim Cummings. Playing, as we've already talked about, Darkwing Duck.
Yes. And a slew of everything else.
He played Pete.
Yeah.
He's the current voice of Pete in a lot of the post-90s Disney shows. Yeah. And a couple other things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice for a while. I'm going to hit a big one at the end to cover a lot of people.
Yes.
He also was Winnie the Pooh.
Mm-hmm.
And Tigger. He's the current Winnie the Pooh and Tigger.
Yes.
And if you've watched any of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, or Star Wars Rebels, he plays Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo. Anyway.
Yeah. Playing Shinzi, one of the other hyenas.
Oh, yes.
Was
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. I mainly know her as playing Guinan in Star Trek The Next Generation.
I know
her she's in she's in a lot of stuff.
Yes, she's in a lot of stuff. I remember her primarily from Sister Act and Sister Act 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a slew of stuff she's done throughout the years.
She's even got a weird cameo in the 90s Little Rascals movie.
Really?
Yeah, at one point, who's the African kid's name? Anyway, at one point, one of the kids says, "Hey, your mom's here," and he goes, "Oh, Whoopi," and it shows over and it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Of course. I think the last time I saw Whoopi Goldberg in any kind of film was actually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first live action movie. She played April's boss.
Well, technically, she had 2 Star Trek ones since that time, so I don't know what she's done in the movie since there are 2 Star Trek TNG movie appearances. So
okay.
I'm sure most of what I saw on there is like, you can tell she's gotten comfortable in her role as a person as the leader of The View.
Yeah.
And other shows of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what she likes now, I guess.
Yeah.
Playing Bonsai, which was the last of the hyenas, was Cheech Marin.
Yeah, Cheech Marin.
Of Cheech and Chong fame.
Yes. Well, oddly enough, the only thing I really know...
And probably the only one of the two that actually has a brain left.
Probably. Ever since... we never watched Cheech and Chong.
I didn't either.
And so the only thing I really know him from is actually Lion King and Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I really know him from.
Well, that's the thing. If you go and look through his IMDb...
Yeah.
He does a lot of other small roles.
Yeah.
It's just none of them sound like Cheech.
Yeah.
Unlike Bonsai.
Yes, Bonsai is definitely Cheech Marin.
So, after that, playing Scar was Jeremy Irons.
Yes. Oh my god.
Mostly, yes. There is one moment in Be Prepared.
Yes.
Where apparently Jeremy Irons' voice went out. And it switched to Jim Cummings.
Yes. and
you can't. The only reason I know where it is because someone pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
I can't really tell by listening. I just know it's after he does the "You won't get a sniff without me" that it switches.
Yeah, his voice broke
because his voice broke when he did that part.
And so they got obviously
Jim Cummings
to do it.
Yes. But besides playing Scar, the main thing I know Jeremy Irons from doing, and I just lost. He's Alfred in the last couple of DC movies.
Yes, that is true.
Or at least in Batman vs Superman and in Justice League.
One of the movies that I fondly remember Jeremy Irons in is Die Hard 3.
I have not seen Die Hard 3.
You haven't seen Die Hard 3?
I've seen Die Hard, because who hasn't?
Yeah.
And I watched most of Die Hard 2. I just never got to Die Hard 3.
Oh, okay. I've got it on Blu-ray. I'll let you borrow it.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Doesn't surprise me.
No. Definitely when you grow up as a very young child watching Lethal Weapon and Die Hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay, playing Rafiki, and I'm going to apologize before I say this man's name because I'm fairly certain I'm going to mess it up, was Robert Guilaume. I am saying that wrong, and I'm sorry. But I The only thing I found him in that I thought anyone would recognize, and I could be wrong here, keep in mind.
Yeah.
Was he played Mr. Thicknose in The Land Before Time 8, The Big Freeze.
Oh, okay. I've only seen The Land Before Time. Oh, the first one. That was it.
Well, at least that was a movie name I could go, okay, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Most everything else is like, I'm not sure what this is, and, oh, he's playing Rafiki again. It's kind of that thing over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I remember him as an actor, like, I can't remember what... in several shows as a kid, I just can't place them. He's one of those character actors who just blends in the background.
Yeah. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's in everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are in everything, James Earl Jones played Mufasa.
Mm-hmm.
He is also well known as playing Darth Vader in everything. But for a non-Darth Vader role, he played Admiral Greer in The Hunt for Red October.
That's right.
And do you know what movie was his, the very first movie he was ever in?
Conan the Barbarian.
No. That is not James Earl Jones' first movie.
What's that?
Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. He plays the communications person on the plane.
Really?
That gets the go code to start the atomic bomb run.
Oh yeah, I saw a clip about that. I was like, that's James Earl Jones?
That is the very first movie he was ever in.
Wow.
And if you've never watched that movie, you should.
Yeah, I need to.
Playing Sarabi, which was Simba's mother, was Madge Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
She did not have much. The two that struck out for me, and this will be no surprise to anybody, in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, she played the captain of the USS Saratoga.
Okay.
And in Star Trek The Next Generation, she played Captain Sylvia LaForge.
Oh, okay.
I recognized when I was a child, because I grew up watching Star Trek, that it was the same actress. And in my mind, I connected the two people as the same character.
Okay.
Because in the episode where she because she plays Geordie LaForge's mother.
Yes.
In that episode, she's been gone for years. She disappeared in a weird anomaly.
Yeah.
In my mind, and of course she's wearing the same type of uniform as the character in Star Trek 4 was wearing. In my mind, I connected the two characters. I thought, oh, she disappeared 100 years ago. Okay, that can't work now that I think about it. But in my mind as a child, that's how I connected it.
I gotcha.
So I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it was the same person. Playing Serafina, which was Nala's mother.
Okay.
She has one line.
I didn't realize they actually get the character name.
Yeah. It's not said. I only know this from the IMDb, and I had to actually look up, who is Serafina? But that was played by Zoe Leader.
Zoe? I've never heard of her.
Good reason for that. She had 4 roles total.
Okay.
And besides Lion King, the only thing that was a name I thought people might recognize was she was in the Rugrats movie playing additional voices. That is sad.
Okay.
That was the only thing of any substance that I could see in hers, unfortunately, that she had done since this point.
Okay.
And last but not least, playing the voice of every lion roar in the movie was Frank Welker.
The man of many voices.
And to kind of go over some stuff, because I'm trying every time with Frank Welker at least, throwing stuff in there we've not brought up before.
Okay.
So, in the upcoming Scoob movie...
It's Scoob?
It's Scoob.
Okay.
He plays Scooby-Doo.
Rah-rah.
Makes sense?
Ray, when you're for it.
But in the currently running Scooby-Doo and Guess Who television series, he's playing Fred Jones. I don't know who's playing Scooby, but I thought that's an odd jump.
Yeah, just a bit. Well, it is Frank Welker. He can do anything.
He is currently playing Odin in the Disney Channel Guardians of the Galaxy and other Marvel stuff. Stuff. He played a character named Cheladay, I'm probably saying that wrong, in Star Wars Resistance. And last but not least, since this is a movie about cats, I thought I'd bring up a cat role.
Okay.
He is Garfield in The Garfield Show. The 3D Garfield television show that's on Cartoon Network.
Oh. I didn't realize that it came out with another one.
It's not good.
Okay.
But that's not Frank Welker's fault.
Yeah. He's just the voice.
He's just the voice. But I thought, yeah, that's a good connection there.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer did the score.
Of course.
The lyrics for the songs were made by Tim Rice.
Uh-huh.
And the music was written by Elton John.
Or Sir Elton John.
Yes, Sir Elton John. The screenplay was written by Irene Mechie, Jonathan Roberts, and Linda Wolverton.
Mm-hmm.
And it was directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's the cast and crew. Or main crew.
Yeah. Yeah, the music in this movie is incredible.
Yes.
And the fact that...
all 5 of the main songs, and that is the thing, is there's only 5 songs that they wrote.
Yes.
You've got Circle of Life, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Be Prepared, Hakuna Matata, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 5 songs in this musical.
Yes.
Everything else was scored by Hans Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they hired him was, at the time, he was a no-name composer, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
But he had written the score for 2 different Africa-related projects.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the names, I apologize. And they said, well, he did a good job there. Let's get him to do this African Lion movie. And I think he did a wonderful job. I still say this is one of his best scores.
Oh, I would agree. And definitely with the help of...
I kind of wish he stayed with this type of score in his more modern stuff, but that's just me.
Yeah. And also, you can't forget the guy who stepped in, and I feel like... I can't remember his name. Apparently, Hans Zimmer had brought in a friend who was actually from Africa. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name, so forgive me if I don't bring up his name. And so apparently he was at the first when he brought him in, he was actually a chauffeur. He was a chauffeur, be like he would use park cars. Mm-hmm. And so Hans Zimmer brought him in because he knew he was a really good musician. And so they brought him in and it's like, okay, I think we need a little more effort, like legit, authentic African feel. And so he brought in all the what you hear in the beginning of the film.
Mm-hmm. The chanting?
Yeah, the chanting. All the chanting
and the language that they're using there is Zulu.
Mm-hmm.
And translates, and for anyone who's ever curious, translates to, here comes a lion, oh yes, it's a lion. Here comes a lion, oh yes, it's a lion.
Yes, he is coming.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. And
it's strange, even more hilarious when... sorry, did I say that was in Swahili? Because it's not, it's in Zulu.
You said Zulu.
Oh, I didn't say Zulu? Okay.
Yeah, you said Zulu.
Simba's name in Swahili is Lion.
Yes. And oddly enough, because when this movie was taking place, there was apartheid in Africa. This was 1993, 93, 92. So, for you history buffs or those people who don't understand history as much, this was the first time in the 90s where native Africans were able to vote. And they voted in their first leader, who is escaping me at the second. But this was a big deal. And I really got to learn from not Die Hard, but Lethal Weapon 2. I learned it from Lethal Weapon 2 what apartheid was and be like, because it had a very intricate link with the story. And it's really fascinating because hold on, what's his name? Mandela.
Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, Nelson Mandela, who had been in prison for years, and he got released, and that's when he became the first president of Africa.
No, people, he didn't die. If you remember that, you probably think it's called the Berenstein Bears, and a couple other things that prove you're from another universe. This is an actual thought, because there are people out there who remember that the Berenstein Bears, as spelled S-T-E-I-N.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, it's Berenstain.
Berenstain.
And there's also people who honestly remember on the news Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
So the theory is, if you're one of those people who remember it the other way, you're from another universe, and you somehow made it into this one. You switched places with your version in this universe, and they're just as confused in that universe about it being the other way around.
Okay.
This is called the Mandela effect, and it is stupid.
I agree. Okay.
But I do find it funny how there are these things that a large group of people remember it being one way when it's not that way.
Okay. So this kind of ties me kind of a segue into a different movie, actually a movie that's coming out, or that's in production right now. The Little Mermaid live-action movie.
I prefer not to voice my thoughts on this.
Okay. Well, be like...
I mean, I will, but it will make me... I kind of just don't care.
Okay. Well, be like, I wanted to bring it up because it kind of ties in what we were talking about there for a second. Well, the fact that you have so many people who are so against the idea of Haley Bailey, who's the actress who can play...
Yes. Not Halle Berry, like I thought it was when I first read the name.
Yeah, it's Haley Bailey. Which is a very interesting name, because I first saw it and I was like, okay, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, be like, that doesn't affect me as long as she has red hair and a green fin, and she can act and sing, I don't care. But people, be like, it's a movie!
I'm more curious to see how this is going to look closer to release, to see how well it works.
Right.
I'm not going to say I wasn't brought up short seeing that a black lady was playing Ariel.
Yeah.
Because traditionally,
yeah,
Ariel is Caucasian.
Yeah.
I mean, the story was written by Hans Christian Andersen in, Dutch? Not Dutch. What is the name of that place where the Dutch people are from? The Danish Dutch.
Yeah, one of those.
Is that Poland? No, that's not Poland. They're Polish.
Yeah, Polish. Either way.
I look at that and thought, okay, that's an odd choice.
Mm-hmm.
I will wait to see how this goes. This may be one I don't just jump out to go see.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, if she does a good job, if it makes sense in the way the story is written. I mean, admittedly, if she's the one black daughter of King Triton and everybody else is white, that's going to be odd.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be that way.
Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, the person they picked for Ursula is perfect choice.
Yes,
because
I agree.
I might actually like a movie she's in for a change.
Yes, I agree. Well, there again, with bringing the idea of the new Little Mermaid movie, it was more that how people will, get all defensive about, be like, well, she needs to be white because originally she was white. It's be like, if the actress can pull the role off and does it very effectively, I don't care what skin color they are.
To me, my problem is, am I going to be distracted within the context of the movie that she's black?
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I know that sounds horrible, and I don't mean it to be.
Yeah.
But if it's not that she's black that throws me off, it's how are they going to work the fact that this much of a character change in terms of how the character looks, how is that going to affect everything else?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk about what my thoughts on it until I see how the rest of it goes.
Yeah,
because anything I could say right now could easily be my foot going right up my mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't need to do that.
Yeah, I understand.
So that's mostly why, for the most part, I've not talked about it.
I understand.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's
back to the Lion King.
Yeah, back to these, these Roman
I'm so
lines.
curious how apartheid worked into the Lion King, except for the fact that they both were in Africa in 1993.
Yeah. Well, apparently, when they were the lyrics to the Circle of Life, that's actually referring to the apartheid. A king is coming. Yes, a lion is coming. He's talking about
about Simba.
Yeah, but also
that's talking about.
Yeah, but also it's referring to what's his name again?
Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, Nelson Mandela. It's actually talking about him.
That seems like a stretch, but I'll let it go.
Yeah. Either way. That's what I heard, and because what was it?
You hear a lot of weird things, is all I'm saying.
Yes, I do. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or it's the lyrics in which we have been told are completely a sham, and it means something completely different.
I don't know, to some degree, I think it means you just pay Disney lots of money. You just pay Disney lots of money. From the day you arrived on the planet, you've been giving a mouse your dough. Okay, let's move on.
Yes! That went into a mouse trail beyond belief.
Yes, we did Rabbit Trails last week with a Looney Tunes short that took up 1 minute of that movie. And now we've gone into the apartheid in the Circle of Life. Tune in next week when we bring up the Hiroshima bombings in the middle of Big Hero 6.
Stay tuned for the action, folks.
And that sounds like a bad joke, but believe it or not, we'll get to that.
Okay. So let's get into the movie, shall we?
Yes, let's get into the movie. Can I just say that Mufasa and Scar remind me of Thor and Loki from the MCU?
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Especially in that opening scene where Mufasa's there yelling at, talking to Scar about why he was not at his son's ceremony that morning. It just kind of had that feel to it. Yeah,
it's a little bit. Oh, be like, hold on, what was the line? Be like,
that wasn't one of the ones I
read. No. It was one of the lines that Scar shows off because it's. Hold on, let me back up.
Like, I would not dare fight you, brother, because when it comes to strength and superior, you obviously got the lion's share.
But when it comes to brute strength.
But in terms of brute strength, I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool.
I shall work on my fence. I'll work on my curtsy then.
I should work on my curtsy.
Yes, work on my curtsy. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just there's that.
No, sorry. I shall have to practice my curtsy.
Yes, thank you. Just the tension between these two characters, the tension beyond belief, and oddly enough, when it comes to Scar and Mufasa, because apparently originally in the early stages of production, Scar wasn't related to Mufasa. He was actually a rogue lion. And so
I can see that. His character design makes me think he is not of that family.
Yeah. That's...
But at the same time, when you know, if you've done any study on, looked into anything about how lion pride is actually set up.
Yeah.
Technically, Mufasa should have killed Scar a long time ago.
Yeah.
And yet he didn't for some reason, and that's what actually is causing the problem here.
Yeah.
Because generally, a pride of lions is one male lion and a ton of female lions.
Yes.
Lionesses.
Yes. Yeah, so...
Which means...
Yes.
Simba and Nala are related. If you didn't know that, folks.
Yeah.
Cousins.
Yeah, sorry if we blew...
Half brother, half sister, technically.
Yeah, sorry if we blew your childhood out of the water with that. But, anyways...
Ooh, and here's a question.
What's that?
Is Nala a Disney princess?
Oh, gee, in the knees, man. That is tough. That is really, really tough.
Technically, she is both the daughter of the king, and she's the wife of the prince.
Yes. The future king.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be interesting when we come up with that top 10 princesses. Or discussion on princesses.
Yes, we have to do that at some point.
Oh, that one is a heavy debate. Be like, ever since she's not a human.
And anyway.
Yeah.
Technically, Tiana's not either a human anymore.
Yeah, she's a frog.
But that's beside the point. Okay.
But apparently, when they were getting closer and closer to production, they were like, we need to change this up. So that's why Scar and Mufasa look so radically different. Because originally, they weren't designed to be brothers.
That appears to be fixed in the upcoming live-action movie.
Yeah. Why don't you just...
live-action movie.
Big air quotes here.
Yes.
And so, kind of a tie-in, would that be like, I think we're going to do a review over that.
Maybe. I think maybe a reaction discussion coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe after we go watch it.
Yeah.
As a random episode that'll go up and no one will know what we're talking about.
Yeah, probably. Anyways. Yeah. How can we not forget the opening? The opening of this film. It's I think one of the biggest openings I've ever seen in an animated film.
Yeah.
With the fact
that... It is also very beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
My question is, in the beginning, throughout the opening, you see different animals.
Mm-hmm.
Near the end, when Rafiki holds Simba up, before they start bowing, the animals are all making noises and stuff. And of course, you hear the elephants. You hear all stuff. The zebras make a noise I don't really think a zebra makes. Did you catch that weird sound effect they use there?
It was weird because I've heard zebras bay before. It was a little bit odd.
Yeah. This sounded like someone was beating a bunch of shells on the other side of a wall of water or something. I don't know what that sound was. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, it was weird. It's a great scene, and
yeah, it's just that one little sound effect makes you go,
okay,
what is that?
Yeah,
because that's obvious. That's neither the zebra's braying or their hooves hitting the ground.
Yeah, it's a very odd sound.
Yes, but besides that point, that opening scene is full of some of the most breathtaking animation.
Oh, absolutely.
Period.
Yes, absolutely. And there's no dialogue from any characters.
Yeah.
Except for our
random songstress.
Yeah. Random songstress singing Circle of Life.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. And then you go into the tension between Scar and Mufasa. Mm-hmm. And just it's just snappy. There's no real slowdown. There's this ever progression of storytelling. Mm-hmm. And there's no we're going to slow down and tell this very odd, peculiar story in the background. No, it's one linear story, just beat by beat by beat by beat. And
it's very tight, despite how much time takes place from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's kind of an odd note when it comes to the director, because when they first pitched it, it was going to be more like an animal documentary, with how one of the directors described it as fur and blood, or claws and blood. It was a completely different story, and apparently one of the directors who was first signed on just kept having conflicts with this, and so they let him go. And now we have, I can't remember, we have one of the directors who directed it. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name, because basically I don't have it in front of me. But, yeah, it's
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Either Roger Allers or Rob Minkoff?
Minkoff, no, the other one.
Roger Allers.
Yeah, Roger Allers. Roger Allers was, tasked to be the new guy. Mm-hmm. And so they basically had to restart the entire film from scratch.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I looked at when I was looking through the IMDb list.
Yeah.
While those three people were the only people listed as the screenplay.
Yeah.
The people credited for writing the story that screenplay is based off of was a list about 15 to 20 names long.
Right.
It's like, oh my word, there's no possible way this many people worked on this story. There had to have been a lot of content.
Yeah. Well, also it's
unless they're saying, oh yeah, this person wrote this character, and this person wrote this character, and this is how we connected them with this.
Yeah.
And it's just weird how they wrote that.
It is.
It's like, that many people who wrote the story?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people for an hour and a half movie.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of a little meme I saw once, where it was like, okay, you have Bohemian Rhapsody. Mm-hmm. It was written by 2 people. It was produced by 1.
Yeah.
And then you have Bills, Bills, Bills by Beyonce Knowles. odd enough, he was in the new live action Lion
Yeah.
King. There were, if I remember correctly, it's over 21 people who wrote it. Mm-hmm. It took about 30 people to produce it.
Yeah.
Just saying your quality of,
Quality and does not equal amount of people working on it.
Yeah. But as an example,
time, it's just weird that there's that many people who wrote the story.
Yeah.
But it only took 3 people to write the screenplay.
Yeah. Weird, right?
This is interesting.
Yeah. So, we have this very tight-knit story that really doesn't jump around because, like, some of your, like, Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. Beauty and the Beast it tanges off to Belle's father.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't do that.
It follows Simba.
Yeah, it follows Simba.
The only time you see a jump to somebody else is after Simba does his little fall into the grass, mm-hmm. and that stuff pops up into the wind, mm-hmm. that at one time caused controversy that was completely false.
Yes.
That you follow that stuff to Rafiki, who knows, oh, Simba's alive.
Uh-huh.
And he goes back, and then he goes to get Simba.
Exactly.
It's still about Simba.
Yeah. It's all...
It's to explain why Rafiki showed back up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only time you see a cut back to different characters unless it's connected to Simba.
Yeah. Or they'll be like, I think
the plot in general.
Yeah. Or they'll cut in where it'll go back to Pride Rock, where be like Pride Rock is basically it's been desolated. Thank you. It's been desolated by the hyenas, and nothing is living anymore. And so you get the tension of that.
The balance has been thrown off.
Yes,
which is what Mufasa was trying to tell Simba in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Thanos would be so proud.
Oh yeah, he would. I watched a YouTube. What's a YouTube over this? If you've ever watched film theory or game theory by Matt Pat, mm-hmm. he did a literal breakdown of what it would take for that kind of ecological disaster to happen. It is phenomenal because how much does one spotted hyena eat? A lot,
apparently, and there's 50 of them there.
Yeah, 50. And kind of an odd segue with that. Apparently, spotted hyenas, which are the hyenas in our movie, they're not exactly as the movie portrays them. Because apparently spotted hyenas are basically on the same level of intelligence and ferocity as a lion. So
that makes sense.
Well,
I think they have their own land.
Yeah.
That's in that shadowy place
mm-hmm.
where Simba was not supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he went.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Uncle Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they were stupid. I'm just saying they are
mangy,
hungry.
Stupid poachers.
They're just hungry.
Yeah.
Their kingdom was not run as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all hyenas are stupid. I'm just saying these hyenas are stupid.
Yeah, I agree. And oddly enough...
And it's Scar's fault.
Yeah, I agree. And oddly enough, this movie was actually banned by the... what do you call them? It's not WWF. But it's,
the World Wildlife Fund?
No, it wasn't them. It was some other wildlife preservation.
PETA?
Yeah, PETA. PETA actually banned them. It actually was a protest.
No one cares what PETA thinks anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
These are the people who...
Protection of tasty animals.
All I'm saying is that when you bite into a salad, that flavor is biochemicals of that plant crying out for help. You are no better than the meat eaters, vegans. Vegetables have feelings too.
So apparently,
I am Groot.
I am Groot. So apparently, PETA protested because
that's what PETA does.
Yeah, they were like, it's like, oh, you're mischaracterizing hyenas, so we're gonna protest this movie. Yeah, odd little trivia.
I'm not surprised PETA's stupid. I don't know why you would be. Or anybody for that matter.
But anyways,
yeah,
the hyenas in this movie are very very unique, and actually be like,
Well,
go ahead.
they are unique because they are Nazis.
Yes, they are.
Especially in one scene
Yes.
during Be Prepared.
Yes.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you can YouTube this.
Yeah.
Look up a comparison between the Nazis marching past Hitler in actual historical footage and the scene where the hyenas are marching past Scar.
Yeah.
And they are 1-to-1.
Yeah, exactly.
To the point where when the scene shifts to show the mass of hyenas marching past, you can see they painted lines on the ground that the hyenas walk past, which match up with the lines on the concrete.
Yeah,
in that procession. In that procession.
Yeah, an actual odd fact, because I'm a huge World War II buff. I love history, and I'm very odd when it comes to history because I love understanding why the Nazis rose to power, why they fell. Mm-hmm. The movie in which they're referred to is actually called The Triumph of the Will. Mm-hmm. And it was, oddly enough...
It's actual footage. It's their actual thing.
Yeah, it's actual footage from an actual rally. Yeah. The big rally in Berlin. And it's so interesting because they've actually interviewed the woman who did it. And it's like, yeah, there's a great masterpiece. I love it. And to this day, she still is like, my best work ever. Mm. Yeah. Odd tangent. Again.
Weird. We brought in Nazism and apartheid into this kids movie about lions. No
and
tigers,
Hamlet.
No tigers or bears.
Yeah.
Hold on, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll eventually do both Aladdin and then maybe Brother Bear. A movie I've never watched.
Me either.
So, back to the lions.
Yeah. Roar.
Of course, we've already talked to death about the gorge.
Yeah, the gorge scene.
The gorge scene.
Oh, long live the king.
Yes.
Oh, that's from Hamlet. As anybody would know, it's from Hamlet.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. This movie is inspired by William Shakespeare's Hamlet.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a political story.
Yeah.
It's a story of kings.
Yeah. And not based after...
Okay, I'm going to get into that.
Go for it.
There is a running theory that Simba the Lion King is a ripoff, plagiarism, mind you.
Yes.
Of a 1970s, I think I'm correct in that year, anime called Kimba the White Lion.
Yes.
Which was a anime series following a white lion named Kimba, who would grow up to be the king.
Yes.
That's about all it has in common
apparently.
With The Lion King. I've only watched bits and pieces of it, but let's face it, there are no poachers in human poachers in The Lion King.
Right.
And they appear to be the main villains of Kimba the White Lion.
Really?
From what I saw.
Okay.
Honestly, I think people see the word Kimba, see the word Simba, know both are about lions, and say, it's plagiarism.
Yeah.
They didn't even change the character's name enough. No, Simba means lion in Swahili, you numb person.
Anyway, coconut.
Which I have a lovely bunch of. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Look up the rest of that song, you'll realize, oh my word, they put that in a Disney movie?
Yeah. We get deep people.
It's a small world after all. Don't sing that song. I don't remember how that goes.
No, anything but that. Which, if anybody doesn't know, that's actually Disney.
Yes. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Zazu, quit being so down in the dumps.
Play something with a little more bumps in it.
It's a small world after all. Anything but that. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, standing in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Oh, me.
Oh, my.
Anyway. So, let's jump to Timon and Pumbaa.
Oh, yeah.
With the greatest fart joke in cinema history.
Yes.
And I say that because it's 2 minutes long. Why, when he was a young warthog, when I was a young warthog. Very nice. Thanks. He found his aroma lacked a certain appeal. He could clear the savannah after every meal. I'm a sensitive soul, though I seem thick-skinned. And it hurts when my friends have never stood downwind. And oh, the shame really was a shame. Thought of changing my name. Oh, what's in a name? And I got downhearted. How did you feel every time that I poop? Not for the kids.
Oh,
sorry.
Bump. Oh, it's the fact that that's a what is it, a fourth brick wall?
Yeah, it breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, it definitely breaks the fourth wall.
It's the only fourth wall break in the movie.
Yes, it is. Oh, and I thought we were getting the singing this episode.
That's a good one to jump into.
Yes, that is.
It wasn't the one you were afraid I was going to do. We'll save that for the live action show.
Yes, we will. If they butcher that one, it'd be like, what's wrong with this movie? They butchered my movie. They butchered my favorite song
that ever existed. Okay. So. Anyway.
So let's get back to our story.
Back to the story. Timon and Pumbaa are two of the funnest guys you could ever run into.
Yeah, that's true.
They even got their own television show and their own movie out of this.
Yeah, that's true. It does have quite a few spin-offs.
Yes. The TV show is, of course, called Timon and Pumbaa.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, The Lion King 1.5, which is literally how Timon and Pumbaa were actually in every scene of the movie, but you missed them.
Yeah.
It does skip over the entire part where they're actually in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa are the best comedy relief and the best buddies you probably ever have. And the most fart jokes on the planet.
Which is great when you consider the only reason they made friends with Simba in the beginning was because it'd be great to have a lion on our side.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it's like they're right there along with Simba and Nala as they're raising their kid up to the heavens.
Yeah.
So.
And oddly enough,
they obviously became good friends no matter how it started.
Apparently, and the fact that Pumbaa's the intelligent one of the bunch.
Yes.
He comes up with everything. He gives a suggestion here.
I thought they were all big balls of gas.
Pretty billions of miles away.
Pumbaa, everything with you is
gas. He's not wrong.
Oh, he's more right than even Simba is.
Yeah, just a bit.
Though the Firefly is one I could maybe understand. Firefly is stuck in that big blue mess up there.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
which is great when you consider, even when you're out in an area of the night when there's no light pollution whatsoever, the sky is not blue. At that time,
it's not that blue.
It is black.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
That's beside the point.
Yeah. I will bring up one point. We'll bring up one point. It's kind of a homage to, back when I was a teenager. Like where I lived as a kid was out of the lake here where we live now. Mm-hmm. Cause you go in the night sky and there's just stars everywhere. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And so I went on my first date when I was like 18, 17 years old. And so we go out to her place, go watch a movie. That is a very interesting story to tell for another time. Mm-hmm. And so we stand up and just looking at the stars, and it's the exact same thing I look up at. It's just beautiful. And it's like, okay, why am I not kissing her? But anyways,
yes,
that just kind of reminded me of that.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, it was.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Adult Nala shows up.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Ruins Paradise.
Yeah.
And then we get what my least favorite song in the movie.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Which I want to hear the original version of that song.
Oh, yeah.
The one that is sung by Timon and Pumbaa.
Pumbaa, yes.
All the way through.
I'm not surprised there's a recording of it somewhere.
Oh, that's how it was originally planned. They storyboarded that way. It got to rough sketches.
Yeah.
And I actually would not be surprised if most of the finished scenes are from that version, and it's just played with, with a different thought going into it, someone else singing it, if it doesn't just come off not as funny. Yeah. There are some scenes like that. Him pushing her into the water is not really fitting with the music. And yet it kind of is.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the bedroom eyes.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
That Nala gives.
Yeah, I'd be like, granted, as a kid, or as like a young teenager, when I saw this, it was like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, it's like, oh my gosh.
Ooh, yeah.
We got some But that kind of makes a good segue into that. Apparently, when they did a special screening for, this version of Lion King with Timon and Pumbaa singing the entire song "Cage for Love Night,"
Elton John was pissed.
He lost his mind
because they had ruined his song.
They had ruined the song. He literally got on the phone with Casper screaming at him.
Yeah,
that you have ruined this song. You've ruined this movie.
And I have a feeling that's why Elton John recorded his own version that plays over the end credits.
That could be it. And plus, I think Elton John just wanted a Disney song, which I don't think.
But if you had to pick one, I guess that one works.
Yeah, Circle of Life's really
good. I have a feeling that one was picked because y'all didn't do the song right even when you fixed it. This is how it's supposed to sound.
that could be it, but there again, speculation.
Speculation, yes.
But, anyways, yeah. Oh, this.
What would it be if I didn't speculate about the music? What episode would this be?
Yeah. Yeah, where would it be? In a live act, a Marvel podcast?
At this point, as much as we've talked about Marvel, probably.
Probably, yes.
Or even better. There's one thing I haven't brought up this podcast, and I'm actually surprised I skipped over it. I think it's because we just got to talking about Frank Welker. But, this is one of the worlds. This is the first movie that we've done. Oh, that's not the first movie, because we've done two others from which there was this happened. But this is one of the movies that was adapted into Kingdom Hearts. Specifically Kingdom Hearts 2.
Of course.
And this is one where most of the cast reprises their roles.
Oh, okay.
Except Matthew Broderick, I believe.
Huh.
But even Jonathan Taylor Thomas' voice is in the game.
Really?
As young Simba. It's in a flashback scene, and it's the clip from the movie.
Hairball.
Yeah, I bet it's a hairball. But even Jonathan Taylor Thomas makes an appearance in the game. It's just him as young Simba in the scene of him screaming no when Mufasa dies.
Yeah.
And it's obviously the clip from the movie, but it's still there. And it's actually one of the better worlds in the Kingdom Hearts 2.
Huh. Cool.
And how it works. Of course, Sora is a lion cub.
Of course.
Goofy's a turtle.
Okay.
Because Goofy's always a turtle.
And of course, Donald's a duck.
No, Donald is actually is a bird, but it's not a duck.
That's just odd.
He's got the duck bill because it's still Donald's head.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of Zazu-ish.
Oh, okay.
Ish. Well, you have to remember, Zazu is Mufasa and assumably Simba's major domo.
Yeah.
Donald Duck in the games is King Mickey's head magician and probably major domo.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
Same type of role, that's why he went that route.
Okay.
Goofy's captain of the guard in the games, and he carries around a big shield. You know why they went turtle.
That makes sense.
And, of course, Simba appeared in Kingdom Hearts 1 as a summon, and in Kingdom Hearts 3 as a summon.
So
off the Kingdom Hearts and stuff.
I got
I'm
you.
going to keep bringing that up anytime there's an excuse to.
Oh, of course. Well, here's a good point where we talk about the lessons learned about what the lessons we should learn, the lessons we want to run away from.
Kill your brother before he tries to kill your father. No, kill your uncle before he tries to kill your father.
Or brother, just kill your brother before he causes all kinds of mayhem and screws everything
up. If your
up.
brother starts hanging out with a bunch of
hyenas,
poachers, slithering doofbrain poachers who hang out in elephant graveyards, might be a good idea to go ahead and get rid of them.
Yeah. But the
also stand up to what you know is right. Remember who you actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you doesn't feel like you are that person, you are that person.
Yes. It reminds me of
the past is in the past.
The past is in the past. That is true.
Interesting how it's the same idea. Because Timon says you got to put your past behind you.
Yeah.
And he uses that to run away from his past.
Yeah.
But then Rafiki says, yes, the past can hurt, but you can always learn from it. It's in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thought.
Yeah.
Shown two different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
And what you can do.
Exactly.
And Timon eventually acquiesces.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently they get into a little more of Timon's past and Lion King in half.
Kinda, sorta.
Kinda, sorta.
He was kind of kicked out of his family's
Meerkat estate.
Meerkat hole. Because he's Timon.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, both Timon and Pumbaa are outcasts. They did say that.
Yeah, they are both outcasts.
And now they're friends of the king.
Yeah. So they got some,
They got free food.
Yeah.
And one of them is a warthog, so he's going to eat a lot.
Yeah.
He is a big pig.
Yeah.
You can be a big pig too.
Oi! But, yeah, it reminded me of a story in which our pastor actually uses a lot. Mm-hmm. Because Dr. Mike will talk about his father a lot. And there's one story where, like, his father is talking to him about, you are a representation of my name. You're a representation of my name. So, act like it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of in the same way that Simba, is a representation of his father. Mm-hmm. His father, he will always be in his father's shadow. But at the same time, Simba is fulfilling the role in which he is to play. And instead of running away and rejecting that, is fulfilling that. Fulfilling that idea that you are your father's son. Mm-hmm. And a lot of ways we are. Yeah. Because we've basically wanted to emulate our fathers our entire lives. And in the same way we are with holding our last name, we are representing that. We are representing our fathers. We are representing who our father is and what he stands for. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that it brought out that idea that how much we're both guys. So we have this our kinship with our father that you have this reverence for your father. But at the same time, you want to be like him. At the same time, you don't want to be like him. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, you wind up being almost a mix of who your father is and what he bestowed into you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we want to run away from that. Like, your father is giving you a business. Yeah. And sometimes we're like, no, I don't want to do that. But your father is ultimately he's trying to, give you a better life, give you a better legacy. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we think, oh, we know better. But most of the time we don't, right? Yeah. We have this tendency to be like, oh, as teenagers or in our 20s, we think like, oh yeah, we know everything. We don't. And often we learn that lesson really hard. And then we wind up going back and learning that lesson that we should have learned a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So that's what I kind of drew out of it. That we do have this legacy of our family that we have to uphold to, and not to say that that some people say it's like, oh, if your family rejects you, you reject them.
No, that's not how that works.
No, it's not how it works.
Because not how it should work.
No, because there's like, say if someone moved away from their family, they went from, let's say, Australia to Texas here in America. They have no support system whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Well, luckily for Simba, he found Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
But that literally became his family. But there's so many times where we move away because we want to reject this, or we feel we've, done something absolutely terrible that no one's going to, love us out of that.
Yeah.
So we wind up going in and doing all these terrible things. And I think, there again, using example of Dr. Mike, his youngest son had done something, and he just kept saying, be like, son, just come home. Just come home. And it's learning that lesson and realizing your responsibility as an adult, mm-hmm. and not running away from your responsibility and embracing that as an adult. And yeah, it's learning the lesson, or taking the hard lesson you had to learn in order to grow.
Yeah. To me, what this movie is about, the biggest thing you can actually take away from this,
okay,
besides all the things I joked about earlier,
okay,
this is a movie about how to dealing with fear. It's multiple kinds of fear.
Oh yeah.
Simba, for most of the movie, mm-hmm. especially after his father dies, is afraid of going back and having to face his family, mm-hmm. about what he believes he did.
Yeah.
And what, as far as anybody knows but Scar and the hyenas, is what he did.
Yeah.
Despite the fact they don't know it yet. He's afraid of going back and facing the music.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, he's wanting to be brave.
Yeah.
By running into the elephant graveyard.
Yeah.
And that's why when Mufasa confronts him about, why did you do this? He's like, well, I wanted to be brave.
Yeah.
And Mufasa says, Simba, being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Simba says, but you're not scared of anything. Mufasa says, I was today. You were? Yes. I thought I might lose you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess even kings get scared, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's what that is into my mind is what the lesson here is.
Yeah.
This is about facing the things that you are scared of and being brave and doing it anyway. Because that is what bravery is.
Yeah.
It's not about being scared.
Yeah.
About not being scared. It's about being scared and doing the right thing anyway. And that's what Simba naturally had to do. He was scared of going back and facing his mother.
Yes, I agree.
His best friend / future wife.
Yeah.
And all the other lionesses, essentially the entire kingdom, and saying, yes, it is my fault that Mufasa is dead.
Yes.
I can't help that. But I can't let Scar continue to drive us to death.
Yes.
And of course it comes out that Scar's the one who did everything.
Yes.
And that Simba is really innocent in the matter, other than just being a kid who thought his uncle was looking out for him.
Yeah.
I can't blame Simba for getting in the situation in the first place.
No, you can't.
But
he believed a very deceptive lie.
A very deceptive lie. Makes him. That's why Scar's a good Loki.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, he had to go back. He had to face. The hard part was not fighting Scar.
Yeah. The
hard part was facing the people he's afraid were going to turn their back on him.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. Even before Simba learned that Scar's the one who did it,
mm-hmm.
they never turned their back on him.
No, they were just
none of that pride did. Mostly because they didn't have time to, to some degree. But the only reaction you get is Simba's mother, Sarabi, saying, it's not true. Tell me it's not
true. Yeah.
And that's not, I can't believe you did that. It's like, that can't be the reason why that happened.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the reason why that happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I bet she's not even thinking that's his fault. Because he was a kid.
Yeah, he was a little cub.
Yes. The fact that he ran away is something a kid would do.
Yeah.
When he found out, when he thinks he's the one who killed his own dad.
Yeah.
And that's why, anyway, that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I completely agree with your point. And yeah, it's part of, facing up to your responsibility and the same time of be like, facing your fear. Facing the fear that, that you are basically scared to death to follow. And we all do that. We are scared to death to come up to, be like, oh, I made a mistake. I gotta run away. Yeah. It's that natural fight or flight.
He's running from his responsibilities, but he has to go back and take care of his responsibilities. Yes. And it has to be at least for me, in my mind, the hardest part of that responsibility isn't fighting Scar. He isn't even facing the people he's afraid he's wronged. It's that minute when he's finally knocked Scar off to his doom with the hyenas, and he's making that walk up Pride Rock. Yes. To do the roar that somehow saves everything. Yeah. That is probably the hardest part, because now he is taking responsibility not just for not just for himself, not just for Nala, but for the entire Pride. Yeah. We are now moving forward past what Scar has done. Yes. And the wrongs he has wronged us all with. That's the hardest part in my mind. And there's a reason why Simba doesn't get a real roar until that point.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a very good observation. Very, very good.
Yeah. He's not king until that moment.
Yeah. It's like you are supposed to be king. Be like, you have to come up to your responsibility of being king and facing your fear. His responsibility is
facing his uncle, taking care of that mess. Yes. Fixing essentially his father's fault. Yeah. Because that Scar, if that Pride had acted like a normal Pride does, Scar would not have been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
But thus be like...
but then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe they're best friends as cubs. You never know.
Well, they were brothers.
Yeah, they're brothers.
They're probably closer siblings than Simba and Nala were. Yeah. In terms of knowing their siblings.
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of get the feeling Simba and Nala don't know their siblings.
No, probably not. Probably not. But anyways.
Not until they had their own kid and realized, wait a minute, you've got lots of cubs over there with all those other lionesses. Is this how this works?
It's like, wait, hold on. Ugh.
This is odd, but at least my son's the one who's going to be king.
And that kind of brings up another thing.
That is the thing. The movie ends the way it began.
Yeah, I agree.
With a new cub being lifted to the heavens. So essentially, it's all a circle.
Yeah, it's a circle of life. Yeah, and that turns out it's a girl in the second one. Yeah, anyways. But it kind of...
And somehow, at some point, Scarf had another Pride. And had kids... And then the Prides became one because Simba's daughter and Scar's brother, or Scar's son came together, which is completely thrown out the window when you get to the new Lion King show where there's the newest one where Simba's son is learning how to be a lion. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. But there's a relatively recent show.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it lasted very long, but it did last long enough for Timon and Pumbaa, played by the two guys who played Timon and Pumbaa and everything, to reprise their roles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do show up in there and they do reprise their roles.
Oh, that's too funny.
Because the guy who plays Pumbaa's got to make another paycheck.
Yeah,
because that's all he's got.
The whole be like, you have this huge Pride, and there's one male cub out of that entire
he's just the first male cub.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Probably all the other male cubs were killed.
Probably, or it's a young pride.
I'm not going to jump to that kind of conclusion because it's not shown.
Yeah, that's true. It's just hypothetical.
Hypothetical. Yes.
But anyways, yeah, I think we've kind of
reached the end of the episode.
I think so.
So, I personally believe this is a family-friendly movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's one I think all kids and adults of all ages can sit down and watch and enjoy and talk about. It's got lots of great things for people. It's got a great message.
Yeah, I'll agree.
About, remembering who you are and standing up to your fears.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the movie.
Oh yeah,
it's a one I remember from my childhood. Remember liking.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that I have very deep memories of, love for as a kid and definitely as an adult. Oh yeah, definitely. Families go watch this movie.
Yes.
If you haven't already, and you haven't, shown your kids yet, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Go watch this film. Mm-hmm. Your kids are going to love it.
And they'll be singing "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" until you can't hear anymore. So I'm going to give this one a 8.5 out of 10.
I would completely agree with 8.5. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's not perfect because what movie really is.
Yeah.
But it's still extremely well done.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about it, and this is even hard to think about, we don't spend enough time with Timon and Pumbaa. We need another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
While they're hunting bugs.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's what the extra half hour is in the live action one. Is more Timon and Pumbaa.
Hey,
we need more of them.
Hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Maybe we get both versions of "Can You Feel the Love Tonight"? The Timon and Pumbaa version, and then the version from this movie.
In the background the entire time.
Yeah. It's a duet. It's like, we sing this line, then we sing this line, back and forth.
Oh.
Or at the same time, like you see in some musicals. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I would probably, there again be like, it's a hit and miss between it's a solid 8 or it's a solid 8.5 for me. I really can't pick. Because it's an amazing film. There's the audio thing we mentioned earlier. There's the one where I Just Can't Wait to Be King. There's where the alligators are drawn very oddly.
I'm throwing that up to the obviously intended cartoony visuals of that sequence.
Yeah, true, but at the same time, it was so odd.
Yeah.
It was so odd. But, it's there again, giving a movie an 8 does not say it's it's not the upper echelons. It is. This is good. An incredible movie. Mm-hmm.
8.5 is not a bad grade.
No, it's not. It's very high.
It is very high. Yeah, even on the where I consider a 7 passing, it is still up there. The only reason I'm not counting it as a perfect movie is or even a quote unquote A. The reason I'm giving it a B is simply because there are other movies I like more.
Yeah.
That's what it comes right down to. And this is a great one, but there's other ones I like more.
Yeah. And kind of I know we didn't talk about this.
I don't believe in the bell curve, but I'm kind of rating on a curve.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
That's true. And also, kind of forgot to talk about this, that The Lion King is the top grossing 2D animated film of all time. I don't think they're coming out with any 2D films ever.
You never know. There was a recent 2D movie.
Where?
It was about 2 years ago.
Fill me in.
You know what movie I'm talking about. It's a story about 6 pretty pastel ponies learning about the prestidigitation of companionship.
Oh, gosh! Seriously, that was done...
That was 2D! That was 2D!
Like hand-drawn animation.
No, it was vector, but it was still 2D. This wasn't hand-drawn animation, this was vector.
No, it was hand-drawn.
It's an early version of vector, but it's still vector.
Okay, then.
It was computer... It was the CAP system. It's not vector as we do vector now.
Yeah.
But it was a vectorized system.
Oh, okay. Huh.
It was not cell animation.
I was under the impression these are dime.
It's not actually cell animation because it's a computer-aided system.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what the CAPS stands for, but...
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
It is a computerized system. There is some computerized coloring, computerized lighting, and it's not a fully hand-drawn system. America was one of the first... We were one of the first places... Anyway, that's not the point.
Either way.
I have to double-check on what the CAPS program is.
Yeah.
But it was still well enough that they could go back to the original program and bring it to when they did the remaster.
Okay. Didn't know that.
That's also how they were able to throw it into 3D, because they couldn't do anything pre-CAPS.
That makes sense. Oh, okay.
Not that the 3D was worth it, but...
No, that's true. Hey, for me, it was worth it. Let's just say that.
You had a much better reason, and it had nothing to do with the movie.
Nope. Anyways.
So, where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, and also, including on Facebook, at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I draw every day. And I've been doing this for about 2.5 years. And I really enjoy art, and if you like seeing artist progression, be like, come join me and watch the goofiness unfold.
Slowly but surely.
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also now find me on Facebook at Drew's Photo Bin.
Mm-hmm.
It is like yours as a collection of hand-drawn art. Mine is a collection of photographs that I wanted to place in a single space where anyone could go find it. It is just a place where I put some of my best photographs for them to be seen by other people. So come and see me take pictures of other things. Pretty pictures. Beautiful pictures.
Yeah, they are very good.
Pictures.
Yeah, they are very good, by the way.
See me fiddle around with a camera.
There we go.
You can also find both of us at the Cellcast Podcast, or you can email both of us at the Cellcast Podcast at gmail.com. Also find us in our closed Facebook group, the Cellcast. And also, you can come to our website at thecellcast.podbean.com.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, every time we say the Cellcast, that is with a single L. You can also find us on Stitcher, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. And pretty much any place that uses those podcast directories for your own podcast catcher. Because I know the podcast catcher I use takes its directory from Apple. So, there's that. Other than that, do we have any other place they can get a hold of both of us that you know of? I did forget. Please rate and review us.
Yes.
And get your friends to listen too.
Yeah.
Because we do want to grow the community. If you do review us, please email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com to let us know so we can go and find it. And if we like what we see, we'll give you a shout out. If you give us a 1-star, we may ignore you. Fair warning. Also, on the listing of this episode on the listing of this episode in the podcast group, please feel free to leave your thoughts on this episode and leave your recommendations for any future movie we might do.
Yes.
Now, I kind of skipped over this because of the weirdness of how we do this. As y'all know, while this movie was a special case, we wanted to get this out before the live-action movie came out. Our next movie is technically, we are having to re-record an episode we did before because of audio issues, and that is Big Hero 6. So, look forward to that. We will be back to rolling when we do the episode after that. Because we already know what the episode after Big Hero 6 is.
Yes.
So, return then. Other than that, can you think of anything before we end this thing?
Not that I know of.
Alright, well this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
River Beard! River Beard! For what?
For the death of the king.
What? Is he Rick?
No, fool. We're going to kill him. And Simba, too.
Great idea! Who needs a king? No king, no king!
Idiots! There will be a king!
Rare! But you said,
I will be king. Stick with me, and you'll never grow hungry again.
Hooray! Alright! Wrong did the king! Wrong did the king! Wrong did the ring! Next time on
Dad, I just wish I could share my accomplishments with you. You mean so much to me, and honestly, I've always felt a distance, what with you being on the family island all the time, and I just wish you could see how...
Fred. Son.
Dad.
I wear 'em front. I wear 'em back. I go inside out. Then I go front and back.
Dad!
We have a lot to talk about.